You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR. And today, the Giants are back to being maddeningly inconsistent as they fall 6-4 to the Cincinnati Reds. Kyle Harrison surrendered not one, not two, not three, but 4 home runs tonight in less than 4 innings of work. That's not great. The offense made a late surge, and the new guy, Gerard Encarnacion, showed off the power as he and 2 other Giants had late home runs to make this one close, but they couldn't get it done. Ultimately, just another loss to a team in wildcard contention, and it puts the Giants on the verge of losing yet another series that they can't afford to lose if they want to play in October. And what's wrong with Elliot Ramos? What is happening to the Giants, like, budding star in the 2024 All-Star that we came to know and love in the first half of the season? We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed to the channel. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're tuning in, we appreciate you getting the show, and make sure to check out the Locked On Giants show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. As playoffs wind down, the sports stop sportsing like we want them to, but this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a winner bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day all summer long. Just visit FanDuel.com to get started. This one started off kind of fun for the Giants. I mean, right away in the first inning, Pat Bailey throws out Elly De La Cruz to end the inning, and I took that as a sign that the Giants were going to have a fun day out in Cincinnati. We were just going to pick up right where we left off, but no. In the bottom of the second inning, Kyle Harrison gives up his first home run of the day to Stevenson, a solo shot. Stevenson's first of the day. He had 2 in this one, gave the Reds a 1-0 lead. Harrison, the home runs came against a couple different pitches. Came against the home run and the slurve. I mean, Stevenson, he got to the slurve and the home run both in this game. India also got to the slurve as well. But a guy like Kyle Harrison, who lives and dies by that high fastball, you're gonna get hurt sometimes. And last year we saw the home runs come a lot more for Kyle Harrison. He, as I said, he gave up 1 in that first inning, or in that second inning. He also gave up 1 in the third inning to Jonathan India, a solo home run. And this one was really frustrating because this should have been a strikeout. India should have never seen the pitch that he ended up smacking out of the park. But it was called a ball. Harrison threw a slurve with the 2-2 count that was, I mean, not really that close to being a ball. It was completely in the strike zone. It wasn't like halfway out. It wasn't like the ball just barely got the black. I mean, the whole ball was in the strike zone, like above the knee, and it was called a ball. I don't understand why. And the very next pitch, Harrison hangs the slurve right over the middle. Just go grab a hanger out of your closet, hold it, and look at it. It's the same pitch that Kyle Harrison threw to Jonathan India, and he smashed that one. Did not miss. I mean, Harrison had to come into the strike zone. He knew that he was going to get a payoff pitch there. Got a little too much of the strike zone there for Harrison, and India made him pay. 2-0 lead for the Reds. Then in the bottom of the fourth, 2 singles by the Reds before Harrison can get out, and then the second home run of the day by Stevenson gives the Reds a 5-0 lead. But they weren't done that inning. Fairchild comes up later on in the inning and hits a solo bomb. 6-0 Reds lead. At that point, the home run chases Harrison from the game. That's 4 home runs in less than 4 innings. 3.2 innings pitched for Harrison by the end of this one. 6 hits, 6 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and 4 home runs. That ERA now jumps to over 4, sitting at 4.09 now, when he started the day at just 3.69. So his ERA jumps almost half a run in this one outing, and it's now actually kind of close to Blake Snell's, which is both an indication of how inconsistent Harrison has been at times this season when he's dealt with injuries and things like that, and also just the occasional hiccup like today, and also how inconsistent Blake Snell has been and how good he's been as of late. That ERA for Snell was up around 12 earlier this season, and now they're both looking like they're sitting around the same spots. Two guys that were kind of both going in the same direction, both pitching a lot better as of late, but Harrison deviated from that path today. Before this one, Harrison had only given up 1 home run the entire month of July. He was pouring in great start after great start. He had only given up more than 1 earned run once in his last 5 starts since the start just before he went on the injured list in June, dating back to then. So there was only 1 game where he gave up more than 1 run, and that was against the Cleveland Guardians, who have one of the best teams in all of baseball, and that was in Cleveland, where they are incredibly tough to beat. So Harrison has been very, very, very good, Dominant. Remember his last time out, he had 11 strikeouts against the Colorado Rockies on July the 26th. And then he comes out today and gets roughed up big time. He had only allowed 10 home runs all season. I say only, but it's not a big number, not a tiny number. But Harrison had allowed 10 home runs all season, 4 in this one game. That's a big, big jump. Only the 4th time this season that he's given up multiple home runs in one game. The first time that he's done that since May. So Harrison's been pretty good for the last couple months. He did spend a lot of time on the injured list, but he was really dominant last month specifically. Doesn't start off August on the same note. Harrison did get roughed up tonight, but the Giants, they made a push late in this one. It was just a little too late. They later on in this one, in the 7th inning, the Giants finally get on the board, and it was in a funky way. Matt Chapman smashed one to center field over the head of Friedel in the Red center fielder, bounces up against the wall, and Friedel kind of bobbles it as he tries to play the ricochet. He tried to grab it with the bare hand after it bounced off the wall kind of high, and he just kind of knocked it around a little bit, allowed Chapman to take a turn from second, head over to third. He was going to be safe at third either way, but that throw comes in late and kicks away from the Reds' third baseman and squirts into the home dugout. Chapman then gets a free base, so that free base is home, and he scores. It's ruled a double with 2 errors on the play, and at that point, the Giants still trailed 6-1. A little league home run for the Giants and Matt Chapman. And then Pat Bailey comes up next and smashes a legitimate over the fence Major League Baseball home run, his 11th of the season. It was a solo shot. The Giants still trailed 6-2 at that point. It came immediately after that Matt Chapman Little League home run, we'll call it. And so there was no opportunity for the Giants to put runners on base. But man, it would be so nice if any one of these Giants home runs came with anybody on base. I'm so tired of seeing solo shots all the time, and this team can't seem to put anybody on base. And when they do have runners on base, they do nothing but strike out, and it's so incredibly frustrating. The Giants only got 5 hits tonight. They did make the most of it, though. They scored 4 runs. Let's keep it rolling. Gerard Encarnacion, the new kid, called up just recently, his first solo home run as a Giant. It's not his first home run as a big leaguer. That came back in 2022 in September when he was still with the Miami Marlins, and it was against the Washington Nationals. But his first big league home run in nearly 2 years. It's gotta feel good for a guy who started playing this year down in Oaxaca in the Mexico League to make his way back into the bigs and find a spot on the Giants. And I mean, I kind of like the way that the guy looks so far. It's very small sample size, but he's a big dude, 6'3" and beefy. And I don't mean beefy like, I don't know if you guys are South Park fans, but like, the South Park episode of Cartman eating, getting all beefcake. I'm not talking that kind of beefy. We're talking like legitimate, strong, like this dude has muscles on muscles, and this guy has a lot of power. If he can, he looked like he flipped that one out of here pretty easily. And that was an impressive showing. I mean, I would like to see more of this guy in his short time with the Giants organization. He's mashed. We went over this a little bit yesterday, but we're going to go over it again today. He was hitting down in Sacramento over 350 with 21 runs, 3 doubles, and 10 home runs, an OPS over 1,000 in 33 games with Sacramento. He's homering once every 3 games in AAA. I really like what this guy projects as a big leaguer. I mean, the Giants really need a big bat, and this is a bat that they can use, and maybe they'll, I don't know, cycle him in with Marco Luciano when Luciano isn't playing DH, but I don't really know where they would fit him in. I mean, right field is where they kind of have him playing now. I don't really know how great of an outfielder this guy is. Haven't seen too much go his way yet, but I can't imagine that he's going to be, with his body, making stellar plays like Mike Yastrzemski, like laying out for balls. And I'm not imagining that. Maybe he will be, and he'll prove me wrong. But just looking at the body, I'm making a judgment and thinking he's probably not the most agile outfielder. However, when you see what the bat can do, when you know how much the Giants lack power, especially since Jorge Soler exited in the trade deadline, and Luciano is a great DH, don't get me wrong, but he's not a huge power guy like this. His bat to ball skills are phenomenal. He'll still hit you some home runs, Marco Luciano, but he's a doubles guy, a gap to gap guy, and someone who's going to get on base multiple times in the same game. And he's got some great contact skills. It's more coveted than his power, for sure. It's not that he doesn't have power, but it's not the same type of power as a guy that's as big as Encarnacion, and smashed that one out of here like it was really no problem. Just flipped that one on out. And then in the ninth inning, Matt Chapman hit a real home run this time, not a little league home run, but it came up in the top of the ninth, leadoff solo bomb, cut the lead to 6-4, and it felt like the Giants had something cooking. But it was just one run an inning for the Giants. That's all they could do. Them's was the rules today, apparently, down at the Great American Ballpark out there in the Queen City. And that's how this one ended. 6-4, Reds beat the Giants. That Matt Chapman solo bomb was a blast. That thing got up and out of here in a hurry, 106 miles an hour off the bat, 423 feet, his 16th of the season. It was a cement mixer right down the pipe by Diaz, the Reds closer. But like I said, it was too little, too late, and this Giants offense just didn't do enough consistently throughout this game. And man, oh man, if that's not the theme of this season, I don't know what is. This Giants team, this offense, this pitching staff, this bullpen, really, I mean, today they were fine. Let's not beat up on the bullpen when they shut it down for the entire rest of the game after Harrison left. But this whole team has been so inconsistent all year long, just up and down constantly. And just even in the same games, like today, the first half of this game until the seventh inning, the Giants just looked terrible at the plate. They couldn't do anything at all up there, and just were kind of flailing, and it wasn't great. The results, you saw them today. I mean, it's a loss, and you can't just play half a game and win. That's the point here. You got to play a complete game. The Giants offense seems to either turn it on in the beginning, score a couple runs, and then just take a break for the rest of the game, or they seem to pile it all on late and try and be the comeback kids. And you can't continue to do that every single day. You gotta figure out how to win games down the stretch against other teams that are in the NL wildcard contention, especially. And the Giants have been pretty decent at rubber matches, but now it puts you in a position where you can't afford to lose series. You just can't afford to continue to lose series at this point in the season if you want to play in October. And it becomes even more glaring when you're playing a team that you might be going head to head with later on in the season, vying for that final wild card spot. And the Giants, I mean, they have been okay in rubber matches. They were a lot better earlier in the season, but they're sitting at 9-4 right now in rubber games this season. So the rubber match tomorrow, the Giants need to win that game. You pretty much need to win every single series from here on out. I mean, at least all the winnable ones. And this is definitely a winnable series. This isn't like one of the best teams in baseball or anything like that. I mean, the Giants have a somewhat favorable schedule all the way up until the last couple weeks of the season when it gets a lot harder. So you got to win these games now while they're still winnable, and not put it all on the end of the season when the schedule gets a little bit tougher and you're going to have higher quality of opponents. You're going to have opponents that are playoff teams coming in pretty consistently all through the end of September, from about the middle of the month till the end. So right now, this month of August, they need to win these games, and dropping a game like this when you're rolling and you're coming off two back-to-back games of Logan Webb complete game and a Blake Snell no-hitter, and then you get a Kyle Harrison just giant turd right in the middle of the living room. I mean, man, 4 home runs in less than 4 innings. That's terrible. That's not great. And like I said, it's out of the norm for what we've seen from Kyle Harrison recently. I'm just waiting for a certain morning radio host to tweet out to move this guy back to the bullpen. I mean, oh my God, I still cannot explain to you how terrible of a take that is. This guy should never be in the bullpen. He's still like 22 years old and one of the high. I know he's not on he's not Carson Whisenhunt, number 1 prospect on the Giants board, but this guy is going to be a staple for this starting staff for a long period of time. And who knows what we're going to get with Whisenhunt on that same thread. I mean, who knows what he's going to be. I was thinking we might see him after the All-Star break, but this Giants rotation seems pretty set. So maybe we don't see him except for maybe a spot start or two going down. Maybe once we see the expanded rosters, we'll see Whisenhunt on this team. Maybe we'll see. But going forward, this Giants team cannot continue to lose games like this to beatable opponents that you're going to be vying for playoff spots with at the end of the season. We got to take a quick break on this one. But on the other side, what is going on with Elliot Ramos? What has happened to this guy today? 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and actually got pinch hit for in this one at the end. Encarnacion pinch hit for Ramos when he hit that home run. What's going on with Elliot? On the other side of the Locked On Giants postcast, we will break it down. Stick with us. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be right back. Today's show is sponsored by FanDuel. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the NHL and NBA playoffs have wrapped up, we get fewer and fewer games. And now the sports just aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app, dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, all summer long, FanDuel is hooking up customers daily with a boost or a bonus. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. And I mean, I was telling you guys the Tyler Fitzgerald anytime home run prop today, it didn't hit. But I'll tell you what, I'm still going with it for tomorrow out there at the Great Cincinnati Small Park, Great American Small Park in Cincinnati. That ballpark is just so small. You saw the 7 home runs today. There's going to be home runs. It's just a matter of who's going to hit them. And I think it's going to be Fitzy tomorrow for the Giants. Until that streak cools off, I'm going to keep riding it. I'm going to keep riding that streak. So head on over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. And today's show is also sponsored by SupplyHouse.com. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades. SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, h-vac, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is jam-packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. And did I mention it's free? Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free memberships at supplyhouse.com/T-M and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, just checking in on the chat and my guy Tribe letting me know back to reality. Yeah, dude, big time. This Giants team has been so up and down all season long. And it's been, I mean, like bang your head against the wall, aggravating watching this team up and down. And one part of the offense starts clicking, or one part of the team starts clicking like the offense, and then the pitching just falls apart, or the bullpen is on, like today they had almost 6+ innings of shutout ball. It doesn't matter because Harrison already gave up 6 runs before they came into this one. I mean, it's just been one thing after the other. If the Giants can't do it, then I mean, this is going to be a really frustrating season. The fan base is going to absolutely explode if they cannot make it to the postseason after hanging on to all of these pieces at the trade deadline. And a lot of this frustration for the Giants, I mean, a lot of this has come by way of guys underperforming. And now the latest underperformer, Elliot Ramos. And it pains me to bring this up because this kid has been so good all season long, and he is still, just freshly really making his mark on this team. I mean, didn't really stick the other times that he got brought up and saw the big leagues. This is his first real big stint with a big league squad, and he hasn't responded too well to the league adjusting to him. Once the league figured out that this guy struggles big time with high fastballs, that's all that he's been seeing. In his final at-bat of the night before he got pulled from this one, he saw nothing but high fastballs in that at-bat. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. He watched one go by, swung at the other 2. And Ramos, I mean, just today, He had 5 swings and misses on 4-seam fastballs. He saw 6 of them. That's a problem, man, especially when a lot of this is coming high in the zone and it's every single night, and everybody in the league seems to have the scouting report out on Ramos right now. You pump him high fastballs and he can't catch up to it. And that seems to be just what the game plan is with this guy. And the Giants, I mean, Ramos couldn't really adjust in this game, so much so that they pinch hit for him for a guy that they called up just a few days ago from AAA, a guy that wasn't even in the organization to start the season. That's not a good sign. I mean, Ramos has also played a ton. Maybe part of this is fatigue catching up to him. But I really think that this is just the league adjusting to a rookie who had a really strong breakout campaign. And this is kind of how it happens, you know? I mean, the rookie comes on, has a big breakout season. The league kind of adjusts to that rookie. And then we'll see if that young guy can make an adjustment. Elliot Ramos, I don't think qualifies as a rookie still. I've been trying to figure out why for a while, and it's just time served at this point, I think. But I don't think he qualifies as a rookie. It's been kind of confusing to me trying to figure that out. All the rookie qualification stuff in baseball is just way too complicated, man. Like, make it more simple. I know that it's some guys get called up earlier and then you get sent back down, and that's different than almost every other sport, is being able to get called up and then sent back down and still be considered a rookie when you get called up again. It's different for baseball than a lot of other sports. But I mean, I get so confused with these rules, man, sometimes. But I'm not claiming to be smart. I've never told you guys that I'm smart. And so sometimes I'm not a big rules guy. I'm not a big rules guy when it comes to those things. Obviously, I know the rules of baseball, but things like rookie eligibility and things like that kind of get into the galaxy brain thing for me a little bit. And that's not my strong suit. So Ramos, I don't understand why this guy is not still considered a rookie, because he's barely played in the big leagues up until this year. But for what it's worth, what I'm trying to say is this guy, once the league adjusts to a young player, the young player's got to adjust to the adjustment. So here is the time that we will determine whether or not Ramos is going to stick in the league or not. This end of the season, if nothing else, is going to be very telling about what Elliot Ramos is going to be for the future. And I mean, he can still, if he, has a subpar end of the season and kind of flames out, and next season, there's still going to be an opportunity for him to get it back to where it used to be, to where it was in the first half of this season. He'll still have that opportunity for sure. But I want to see how he kind of adjusts to this new plan of attack that everybody seems to have against him. I mean, just when he made the All-Star game, he had a batting average just barely under 300. I think he needed one more hit to enter the All-Star break with a 300 batting average. It's dipped down to 285. That OPS, which was hovering around 1,000 for a while, also down to 835. So those are still two pretty respectable numbers, but not what they were earlier in this season. He's not just on fire, going bananas, just all these home runs flying off the bat left and right. Seemed like every ball that he hit earlier this year, I mean, he would somehow hit it 1,000,000 miles an hour, find the barrel every time, and he's just not able to do that lately. That fastball is really giving him fits at the plate, and that's really all he is seeing. He had 2 strikeouts today, and as I said, he got pinch hit for in his final at bat Encarnacion, and that move paid off for Bob Melvin as came up and smashed that home run. So this is frustrating. And I'm just checking into the comments of my guy Ken. 500 teams just play like this. Yeah, this is the hallmark of a 500 team, is you never know what you're gonna get. The inconsistency is the hallmark of a 500 team. If you don't know who your team is and what their identity is, and I don't really know what this Giants identity is, because they say it's the starting pitching, but then you look at the numbers and that doesn't back that up at all. Because when you look at their starter, just looking at starter ERA rank throughout this season in the month of April, and including those couple games in March, they were 10th. They were top 10. Great. In May, that same starting unit, 29th in ERA rank, ERA over 5.2. In June, they bounced back kinda a little bit. They got better. 4.78 ERA the month of June, 23rd in all of baseball. Then in July, they seemed to find their stride. 3.49 ERA, 4th best in all of baseball. And yes, there were a lot of injuries that contributed to guys being in and not being in during that stretch. But man, you are going from top 10 to 29th in the league in 1 month. Like that's insane. That's insane. So that just right there shows you how inconsistent this Giants team has been. And that's not even talking about the offense. I mean, this offense has been vastly more inconsistent than the pitching, and the pitching itself has been pretty inconsistent too. So I don't really know what the hallmark of this team is. I don't know what their strength is. It's supposed to be the pitching, but it really hasn't been until late. So I don't really know what the strength of this Giants team is. And if it's August and we still don't know what the strength of the team is, I think that shows that this team is 500. If you don't know what you're doing out there, you're probably not a very good team. And that's just kind of where the Giants fall in with things this year. It's frustrating. This roster has been underperforming all year. The players on the roster are better than the record indicates, and they just haven't been able to get it done. Haven't been able to play complete games very often this season, and it has been frustrating, maddening, aggravating, whatever word you want to use. That's what it's been. After what a fall back down to earth after a Logan Webb complete game and a Blake Snell no-hitter, come back out and just, a home run derby in Cincinnati at the Great American Ballpark. We got to take a break here on the Locked On Giants postcast. On the other side, we're going to wrap up the show and go over a couple more notes from today's game. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be right back. Today's show is sponsored by Liquid IV. When you're taking in America's pastime, don't forget to hydrate with Liquid IV's Popsicle Firecracker flavor, a surefire summer hit. You know those firecracker popsicles? I love those, man. And Liquid IV's got that, but in a drink, and it helps keep you hydrated. And it's just the perfect hydration pack for anything you're doing this summer. Get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, because baseball and summer go together like Liquid IV and indulgent hydration. I love Liquid IV's great taste, and staying hydrated is essential for my lifestyle, whether I'm at Oracle Park on a sunny day or whether I'm out at Jerry Day in McLaren Park in San Francisco today on a nice sunny day, a great day to celebrate Jerry Garcia. Or maybe I'm at the Dead & Company concert in 100+ degrees in Las Vegas, need my hydration then too. Or maybe I'm going on a backpacking trip on a Giants off day. No matter what I'm doing, I got to keep that thing on me. And yes, I'm talking about the Liquid IV hydration packs, of course. And with Liquid IV, it's more than just a drink. It's a science-backed way to hydrate better. Tear, pour, and live more. One stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than just water alone. Powered by LIV Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. So no more thirsty summers when you indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go down to liquidiv.com and use code MLB at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. Today, the Giants fall 6-4 to the Cincinnati Reds out at the Great American Ballpark. And the Giants, man, after the loss today, they came into this game 4 games behind that final wild card spot, now sitting at 4.5 games back. The Reds right behind them at 5.5 games back. So if you lose this game tomorrow, you are now tied with the Cincinnati Reds. And this team is just, everyone else at the trade deadline seemed to get better. All these teams that they're competing with, and the Padres have been playing a lot better, and they're kind of, right tied for that last spot. They were on the outside looking in for a while, and they've started to get hot. The Mets, the Diamondbacks, and the Braves currently hold those last 3 wild card spots. They're separated by just a game and a half. And then between the battle for that final wild card spot is insane. You have the Padres, the Mets currently tied for that spot, and then you have the Cardinals 2 games back, the Pirates 3 games back, the Giants 4.5 back, the Reds 5.5 back, and the Cubs 6 back. So that is a log jam at the bottom of this NL wild card race. And it's going to be really a tight one down the stretch to see who pulls this out. The Cardinals, they've been playing a lot better. They also beat the hell out of the Giants when they went and played them at the Rickwood Field game and then out in St. Louis. The Padres, the Giants, played them okay this year. The Padres have been pretty tough on the Giants, though. The Giants and the Pirates were battling earlier this season out in Pittsburgh. And I mean, the Giants have not been very good against any of these teams. And that's going to matter when it comes down to the end of this season and seeing where tiebreakers lie, especially since this is so jammed. And you're going to have to start playing better than some of these teams if you even want to get to that point, because they're frankly not right now. And in the last, in their last 10, the Giants are 7-3, which is solid. I mean, if they can do that going forward, that's obviously going to translate to them being in the playoffs. But you can't just look at that and ignore the fact that they started the second half of the season, if you want to call it that, the post All-Star stretch of the season, 2-5 against the Colorado Rockies, and yes, the LA Dodgers as well. But you can't just go out there and lose games to teams like the Rockies. If you come out of the break and you lose a series to them, and then a week later you lose a series to the Reds, and I mean, the Reds, they're under 500. The Giants are ahead of them. The Reds are below the Giants. The Reds are 53-57. By the way, with the win today, I didn't even mention this on the last postcast because I didn't want to jinx it, because I've been saying it all the time, and I was just trying to switch it up, do something different, so I didn't bring it up. But if the Giants won today, they would have climbed back up to 500, man. They're just allergic to 500 or playing winning baseball. They can't do it this year. They just can't do it. I mean, I don't know. The curse of Gabe Kapler, is that what it is? I mean, the Cap had the 107 win season and got chased out of town, and now they're just, prevented from ever having a winning season ever again, or ever getting back to 500. Maybe that's it, man. I don't know. Kapler and his burger videos, I'm sure, are very happy out there in Miami. Who knows what that guy's up to in his stand-up Instagram videos, his live stand-ups, or his van life blogs. I don't know. That guy was trip, man. I very much prefer Bob Melvin, even though we've questioned some of his moves on this show. Today, Bob's big move was taking out Elliot Ramos for Herrera and Encarnacion, and it paid off, although it wasn't enough, as the Giants still fell 6-4 despite the Encarnacion home run in that pinch hit situation. The Giants poured all four of those runs in after the sixth inning. They came in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and it was just not enough to overcome the 4 home runs that Kyle Harrison gave up in the first 3 innings and change of this one. So the Giants fall 6-4 to the Cincinnati Reds. One more game in Cincinnati tomorrow, and the Giants need a win to win this series. 9-4 in rubber matches this year. We'll see if they can get it done. Either way, we're coming to you live post-game on the Locked On Giants postcast, as we always do. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.